Welcome to the Law Office of Bryan Fagan podcast, where we empower Texas families through knowledge and compassion.
Navigating a custody case is already one of the most stressful things you can go through. And then you hear those words, custody evaluation. It can sound absolutely terrifying, but it really doesn't have to be. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the Texas child custody evaluation process, step by step, so you have the clarity and the confidence you need. Let's get started.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll tackle the basics, what an evaluation is, and, maybe more importantly, why a judge would even order one. Then we'll walk through the actual process, talk about how you can prepare, and break down what happens when that final report lands. We'll even cover how you can respond to it and look at some real-world examples. The goal here? To replace that fear of the unknown with a clear, predictable path.
All right, let's dive right in at the very beginning. What in the world is a child custody evaluation?
Okay, so the Texas Family Code has this really formal definition. But what does that actually mean? In plain English, it's a formal investigation ordered by a judge when you and the other parent just can't agree. A neutral expert gets brought in to gather information and recommend what's best for your child. Things like who gets to make the big decisions and what the schedule should look like. It's not a punishment. Think of it as a tool the court uses to get a much clearer picture of your family's situation.
Now, it's super important to know that these evaluations are not automatic. A judge doesn't order one in every case. They're usually reserved for when things get really complex. Just think about it from the judge's point of view. If there are serious allegations flying around, maybe about abuse, or concerns about a parent's mental health, or someone wants to move far away, the judge needs an expert's eyes and ears on the ground to get an unbiased view before they make a decision that's going to change a child's life forever.
Okay, so let's say the court orders an evaluation. Who exactly does it, and what does it actually look like? Let's break down the mechanics of the whole thing and talk about the person in charge.
This is so important to get right from the start. The evaluator does not work for you, and they don't work for the other parent either. They work for the court. They are a neutral third party, usually a licensed psychologist or a social worker, who has special training in family dynamics and Texas law. Their one and only agenda is to investigate the facts and report back to the judge.
The Texas child custody evaluation process itself is actually very structured, so you'll know what to expect. It kicks off with the judge's order. From there, the evaluator will set up individual interviews with both you and the other parent. You can also expect them to talk with your kids in a way that's right for their age, and they'll want to see how you interact together. They'll do home visits, and they'll probably contact what we call collateral witnesses, people like teachers, doctors, or counselors, just to get a broader perspective. And yep, in some cases, psychological testing might be part of it too.
So with all these interviews and home visits, what are they really trying to figure out? Well, they're focused on behaviors and circumstances, not just accusations. They want to know who's best equipped to meet the child's needs, both emotionally and physically. They're looking at the stability you provide, your parenting skills, and, this is a big one, your ability to co-parent and support your child's relationship with the other parent. They're basically building a whole picture of your family system.
Now, it's helpful to understand a little psychological concept called confirmation bias. Evaluators are trained to be neutral, of course, but they're still human, and we all have this natural tendency to look for information that confirms what we already suspect might be true. This is exactly why being consistent is so critical. When you present a clear, factual, and consistent picture from day one, you help the evaluator see the complete story, not just the pieces that fit some early impression. And that brings us to what I think is the most empowering part of this whole explainer, how you can actively and effectively prepare. This isn't about putting on a show. It's about being able to confidently and genuinely present your best self as a parent. First, let's talk about what to avoid, because it's so easy to fall into these traps. Bad-mouthing the other parent is a huge red flag for evaluators. It tells them you can't co-parent and that you might be putting your own feelings ahead of your child. Trying to convince them to take your side is another big mistake. Their job is to investigate, not to pick a winner. And please, never, ever coach your child on what to say. Evaluators are trained to spot this a mile away, and it just torpedoes your credibility. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's to be authentic.
So what should you do? Just focus on what you can actually control. Keep life as stable and consistent as possible for your child. Follow every single court order to the letter. Document the facts of your involvement, not your emotional opinions. And keep any communication with the other parent respectful and businesslike. And of course, always talk with your attorney before you have your interviews. This kind of thoughtful preparation is absolutely key to navigating the Texas child custody evaluation process successfully.
Okay, let's just pause for a second. Before we get into what happens with the final report, if this is all hitting home and you're feeling like you need more personalized guidance, I really encourage you to visit bryanfagan.com.
We have tons of free guides and resources that go even deeper into Texas custody law. Plus, you can schedule a free consultation right there on the website.
All right, after all the interviews and observations and all the data has been collected, the whole evaluation wraps up with a formal report. So let's take a look at what that actually means for your case. So the evaluator takes everything they've learned and compiles it into a detailed written report. And in that report, they make specific recommendations. Now, this report carries a lot of weight with the court. Judges take it very, very seriously. But I want to be crystal clear about this. It is not the final word. The judge, and only the judge, makes the final legal decision. So what if you get that report? You read it and your stomach just drops. You think, this isn't right. This isn't the whole story. Well, guess what? It's not the end of the road. You absolutely have options. And this is where a really powerful and pretty recent change in the law comes into play. A 2023 update to the Texas Family Code created a new path for parents. See, before this, if you wanted to challenge a report, it often meant paying for a whole brand new evaluation. But now, the law lets you hire an expert just to critique the methodology of that first report without having to start from scratch. For a lot of parents, this is a total game changer. So, working with your attorney, you have a whole toolbox of ways you can respond. You can cross-examine the evaluator in court, questioning their methods and their conclusions. You can present your own evidence and witnesses to show a different side of the story. You can also depose the expert beforehand to really dig into what records they looked at, or maybe more importantly, what they didn't look at, and which key witnesses they failed to contact. You have every right to challenge the findings. You know, theory is one thing, but let's see how this stuff actually plays out in the real world. These are a couple of anonymized case studies that really show how a parent's actions can dramatically change the outcome. So in this first case, a parent they didn't come across as credible. The evaluator formed a negative opinion early on, and because of that, she decided not to interview a really key witness, the other parent's ex-wife. Well, what the evaluator missed was that this ex-wife was in her own separate court battle to keep that same parent away from their child. That was crucial, game-changing information that was completely missed, all because one parent's presentation just wasn't believable. Now, let's look at the flip side. In another case, the evaluator again overlooked a key witness, but this time, the client was prepared. Their attorney proactively reached out, found that witness, and interviewed them. They uncovered testimony that completely contradicted the other parent's story, revealing a hidden history of controlling behavior. That information, which was only found because of diligent preparation, was presented to the court, and it totally reshaped the outcome of the case. So, if you only take one single thing away from our time together today, please let it be this. The most important factor you can control throughout this entire complicated process is your own preparation and your own conduct. We have covered a lot of ground, from the legal definitions to real practical strategies. Just remember, the goal of understanding all this isn't about winning. It's about making sure the truth about your parenting is seen clearly and fairly. So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you understand the process, what is one positive step you can take, starting today, to build a more stable and confident future for your child through all of this? Thank you for watching.